The internet is a big dumpster.
In this world, cesspool of kindness and ethical blindness. So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Piss-Drunk fraternity guy, you got my ass full of bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, we're so impressed. Lots of chicks and a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. Oh, I just can't understand it. Conquered the mind by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first. You're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Screws in a blue, letting cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like a tree and gag. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bone's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The public demented, put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off. I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off. Read into the lyrics, so let the blood you spill quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do this show live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific right here on Twitch, where I don't always do the screen switching correctly. You can support this project by going to echoplexmedia.com and click the support link at the top of the page. The best thing to support the channel is probably buying the merch. My split on it isn't the best, but you get some merch with my logo on it, and people might ask where you got that cool fucking hat. Somebody in the chat just mentioned the tunes are great. That was NVS, San Jose Legend NVS. And right before that, actually, you don't hear it on the podcast, but right before that, it was also a San Jose Legend, Dirtbag Dan. We've been fortunate that all the local artists from all different kinds of genres have been sending us all this great music. Anyway, I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky at Plex-Dave, or if your zip code is correct, you could find me on Grindr. This is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops.
And there's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, donate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Donate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch if you don't stop throwing your rocks. Snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Donate the cops. Oh, donate the cops. Donate the cops. Oh, donate the cops. Thank your local police, 'cause they don't do nothing wrong. Thank your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fearless judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. 'Cause they don't do nothing wrong. Donate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job. Donate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Donate the cops. 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 Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops.
All right. Well, leading off this evening, we have another report from Phil Williams, News Channel 5 out of Nashville. This is called He Thinks Hitler Was Right. Now he wants a whites-only community in Tennessee. A little bit long, but it's
He thinks
great.
Hitler may have been right. He talks about preparing for civil war. Now he hopes to establish a whites-only community right here in Tennessee. Eric Orwell has already made headlines with the whites-only community he's now building in Arkansas. Tonight, as part of his ongoing Confronting Hate investigation, our chief investigative reporter Phil Williams uncovers some exclusive new details about this controversial figure and what he has planned for the volunteer state. And Phil, I understand you had some tough questions for this man.
That's right. I had questions about his plans for that whites-only community, questions about his views on Adolf Hitler and the Holocaust, questions about his ties to the white nationalist Patriot Front, and his talk of civil war, as well as questions about his upcoming appearance at a white nationalist conference right here in Middle Tennessee.
No Nazis, no KKK, no fascist USA.
We were there last year as anti-fascist protesters raised their voices in opposition to the annual gathering of white nationalists at Montgomery Bell State Park. The American Renaissance Conference is scheduled to return to the park in mid-November.
We have a community for white Americans who value their European ancestry.
Among the speakers is a far-right figure who's recently made headlines around the globe with his plan to create a whites-only community in northeastern Arkansas.
Of course, we're concerned about the ability of white Americans to have their own communities in the future, and I think this is a discussion that needs to happen.
Eric Orwell told me he wants to test federal fair housing laws, which is why he created a group called Return to the Land as a private membership association, in other words, a private club, with plans to create other whites-only communities.
Right now, there are a few hot spots that we're honing in on. Idaho, Tennessee, the Ozarks.
You say Tennessee?
Yeah, that's one of those hotspots.
And where in Tennessee are you looking at?
A few different locations, eastern Tennessee, central Tennessee. So I'm not going to give away specific zip codes or anything.
His website shows a map that includes the eastern part of Middle Tennessee and East Tennessee that make up Appalachia, which would include Jackson County, where Christian nationalists are also hoping to establish their own community, giving some of the same reasons Orwell gives for choosing the region.
But Appalachia in general has a lot of founding stock Americans who are very rooted to the land here, you know? People who came over more recently might not have that very deep sense of white American identity.
We have to look for ways where we can securely have our own territory that is actually ours.
Presenting himself as a thoughtful person, Eric Orwell chooses his words carefully when describing his personal beliefs. How do you describe yourself? Are you a white supremacist, white nationalist, neo-Nazi, any of the above?
None of the above. I'm a white identitarian. I think that ethnic identity, racial and ethnic identity, is a big part of who you are.
While portraying himself as someone mainly interested in preserving white heritage, Orwell has developed a close relationship with the white nationalist Patriot Front, which wants to turn the U.S. into an ethno-state for whites only. What is your relationship with the Patriot Front?
I believe that they are good faith actors. I think their ambitions for seeing political change are noble, even if I don't completely agree with their strategy or perhaps ultimate objective.
But photos posted by Patriot Front show Orwell was one of the speakers recently at the group's first national conference alongside neo-Nazi Robert Rondeau. This is Rondeau attacking a counter-protester at a Trump rally in 2017. And here at the Patriot Front.
That was at the beach. Check this out. This looks like the beach. I bet this is Huntington Beach, if I had to guess.
A counter-protester at a Trump rally in 2017, and here at the Patriot Front conference, that's Rondeau on the left. To the right is Orwell giving the fist over heart salute.
Life, liberty, victory!
The official salute of Patriot Front.
Life, liberty, victory. Hungry Man TV dinners.
Post on X on September 15th. That said folks are willing to call for violence, but unwilling to join one of the few groups on our side that know how to organize and deploy men. Who is that group that you were referring to?
I was indirectly referring to Patriot Front.
As our News Channel 5 investigation has revealed, Patriot Front has built a compound in East Tennessee where it trains men to fight, although it claims it's just a way for them to develop themselves personally. Patriot Front does a lot of training for hand-to-hand combat. Do you think they're in a position, want to even prepare for battle for civil war?
Well, I'm not against preparing for civil war because it may happen, not of our choosing.
Orwell has argued that this iconic photo of U.S. Marshals escorting 6-year-old Ruby Bridges as she integrated a Louisiana school represents what he calls the immorality of forced integration.
And what they did was they chose one...
The fucking immorality of let this little black girl go to school with you. Oh my God.
And said, you're all going to live this way. And it just wasn't really a democratic process.
Meaning the white people didn't get their way?
Yeah, the Democratic majority, if they don't get their way, that's undemocratic.
A Jewish journalist released an article today attacking my character, trying to smear me.
Well, he insists he's not anti-Semitic after a news report revealed that he and his ex-wife had once starred in a series of live-streamed porn videos. Orwell seemed to think that one of the reporter's ethnic backgrounds had something to do with it. You kept referring to it as the Jewish reporter, or the Jewish journalist, and I wasn't sure why.
We're Jewish.
What does that have to do with the fact?
The fact is that Gentile journalists weren't coming after me for having a white neighborhood. Jewish journalists were.
Then there was this post where another person on X wrote, "I do not blame all the Jews for everything. Don't hate Jews for being Jews." Orwell responded, "Have you considered that you might not know enough about Jews?"
Oh my fucking God. Fuck this guy.
That's a direct quote. And it could be a fake account. Yeah,
It is.
Show me.
This is off of your X account.
Yeah, I didn't mean to insinuate that you should hate Jews for being Jews. Blaming Jews for everything. I may have been a bit tongue-in-cheek there.
And there's a post where he appeared to defend Adolf Hitler, saying, "Interesting that you don't even acknowledge the alleged Jewish wrongdoing or what punishment that would merit if true." Do you believe that the Jews had it coming from Hitler?
Had it coming. I mean, it's not my place to judge.
It seems to me that saying there is no reason at all to murder 6 million Jews is an easy answer.
Yeah, well, I don't know that 6 million Jews were murdered. I don't know that.
We can have dozens of these communities within the next 5 years. We can have hundreds of them if we keep the momentum up.
As for his hopes to establish whites-only communities, Orwell says he thinks Donald Trump's administration provides the best hope to establish a new legal precedent.
I don't know if he personally would condone what we're doing, but I think he's enough of a true conservative that he would believe that we have the right to do it.
And Eric, Orwell tells me he's getting lots of support for his idea, enough so that he has been able to quit his job and focus on this project full time. Asked if any of that money is coming from the millionaires or billionaires who are trying to re-engineer American society, he claimed he did not know for sure, although he added that he is getting some, what he described as very large donations. Rory?
Phil, thank you. We know you're going to keep watching this. This is one of many investigations Phil has produced in the last 2 years documenting the rise of hate in our state. You can check out Phil's previous reports on our website, newschannel5.com/hate.
Yeah, Phil Williams, like, absolutely should be getting like a Pulitzer, a Polk Award, or some kind of award. His reporting on this stuff has just been phenomenal. A couple thoughts on this. One, we were saying last time we watched something about one of these that the organizations might be crawling with feds, although now with the current state of the federal government, it might not be crawling with feds, but could very well be crawling if they organize in Tennessee, the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They do not fuck around. Tennessee is like a red state or whatever, but the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has disrupted, like, historically, a lot of these kind of white supremacist, white nationalist movements. And so these organizations are absolutely like crawling with like law enforcement at different levels. So, it'll all fall apart if it even gets going. And when it does fall apart, they're all going to blame each other, and it's going to be kind of fucking amazing to watch, because that's how this always shakes out. So, up next, meanwhile, in Tennessee, a bunch of people who weren't drunk, got busted for a DUI because, I guess, of quotas. That's what I'm hearing here.
This is corruption. We're ruining people's lives. We're being forced to ruin people's lives.
Former state troopers are coming forward tonight, blowing the whistle, they say, on a quota system that's leaving innocent people charged with crimes they did not commit. Good evening. I'm Lauren Lowry.
And I'm Marius Payton.
I'm Tracy Cornett. The next time you're out driving on the interstate, especially late, you're going to be thinking about what WSMV4 Investigates has now uncovered.
Chief investigative reporter Jeremy Finley is here with the latest on his sobering problem investigation.
Well, guys, what we've uncovered is more than just two former troopers coming forward about what they say is a system designed to pressure troopers into making as many DUI arrests as possible. We've also obtained a secretly recorded meeting and internal maps that troopers say explains why so many innocent people are being charged with DUI. We told you about Thomas Manis's arrest, and Stephanie Fair's, and Candace Slate's, and all the other people arrested for DUI by state troopers when they were completely sober. But we've never heard from any of the troopers who've arrested sober people for DUI until now.
This is corruption. We're ruining people's lives. We're being forced to ruin people's lives.
Do you know if you've ever arrested a sober driver for DUI?
Yes, sir. I'm sure I have.
Former troopers Ashley Smith and Adam Potts say there's a reason so many innocent people have been arrested for DUI in Tennessee by state troopers. A reason, they say, revealed in these internal maps and recorded audio from a troopers meeting in Chattanooga.
Arrest every DUI that you can get your hands on.
We've always thought this was a great thing because you want to get drunk drivers off the road. Do you feel like that this push to get DUIs is eventually having a negative outcome?
Absolutely. There's pressure to arrest DUIs.
Potts says it's not just pressure.
It's a quota.
I have to ask you, did you ever feel pressure just to pull someone over and arrest them for DUI just to make a quota?
Absolutely.
So wait a minute. Whoa. This is bullshit. This is why we say all cops are bastards, right? It's like, now that the fucking cat's out of the bag, you got a couple maybe former troopers, state troopers, maybe they've moved on to different jobs or whatever going on in the news. No, motherfucker. If you weren't a giant piece of shit, you would have even anonymously started leaking this shit to the media. Like, what are you talking about? Like, if you were afraid of like being like, hurt or worried financially or whatever, you could still fucking anonymously leak this shit to the media while you were doing it. Fucking coward ass motherfuckers.
It's something directly addressed in recorded audio from a meeting with Captain Patrick Turner out of Chattanooga, obtained by WSMV4 Investigates.
I'm passing on the message of what the command staff wants. What does hard work look like? Well, it could look like arresting 100 plus DUIs a year.
In that meeting, it stipulated to troopers on the midnight shift, 100 DUI arrests will be required each year per trooper.
If there's DUI, I want you to load the jail full of them.
Turner also talks about consequences.
Like I'm sorry, like fuck the police, but if you get caught driving and you're impaired, you need to have your license and shit suspended. This is what law enforcement is for. This message here is fine. I don't like the idea of doing 100. That's 2 a week. But yeah, if you catch somebody driving drunk, yeah, fucking take them in. Fucking I don't know. That's like one of the few good things fucking law enforcement does. But telling people that they need to find a certain number of them, then the implication being that you need to invent a DUI. Well, that's a whole ass different thing. A DUI fucking ruins someone's life.
It comes to how many DUI arrests are made, as well as contacts, meaning drivers pulled over each shift.
You turn in 33 DUIs per year and 1.7 contacts, you're going to get spanked.
But despite what you just heard, this is what the THP emailed us. Quote, the Tennessee Highway Patrol does not have or use quotas for traffic stops, citations, or arrests. And there's more. In emails obtained through the Open Records Act, Captain Bruce McCarley sent out maps this year. Subject line, DUI map. It shows every county in District 8 and every trooper with a number next to it. These former troopers say those are the numbers of DUI arrests made by each trooper. What is the message to you all? Why send this out to troopers?
You're not doing good enough because somebody else is beating you with the DUIs. You need to do better.
These former troopers say there are incentives for troopers to make DUI arrests.
The advantage of arresting somebody, whether they're really drunk or not, is I continue to get that premium overtime.
So does that translate to troopers feeling like, if I'm working this shift, I've got to find somebody to arrest?
Absolutely.
For full transparency, both Potts and Smith were fired by the THP. Potts pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of a single car accident involving his personal vehicle.
I made a mistake. I had to crash off duty.
And the THP is seeking to decertify Smith, accusing her of helping a family member to get out of a DUI. She's fighting that claim before the state. The THP may simply say that you're just a disgruntled employee, and that's why you're coming forward.
I would have said something before if it wouldn't have been career suicide for me.
As for what the THP says about their claims and everything else we've obtained, we don't know. Colonel, this is Jeremy Finley with Channel 4. After we tried to speak with the head of the THP in August, and he drove away in a car, we once again sent our findings to them, asking for an interview. Instead, they sent a statement reading in part, troopers are highly trained and expected to use their judgment and make necessary traffic stops based on observed violations and public safety needs.
I think they really don't care about the citizens. I think they care about the way it looks, the perception.
So something's missing from this report. I mean, good on the local news, and like I guess good on the former state troopers for blowing the whistle, but like where like are there cases where people were hauled in for a DUI and like then they blew like 0 on the fucking breathalyzer? Like there's something totally missing from this here. Maybe we'll find out more later. I don't know. I'm skeptical of basically everybody involved now. I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. Not the cops. I mean, the news reporters are just doing their job, I suppose. But yeah, I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. I don't trust the THP. I don't trust the former cops. I don't trust anybody. But we'll see. Maybe we'll learn more about this as time goes on. A lot of times stories like this show up once and then you never really hear about them again. So the president of our I was going to say once great nation, but I'm not sure that's even true. Went on an Asian trip, and here's him in Japan. I mean, you can't really see much there, but like he did look like he didn't know where he was supposed to be going. And these things are like so planned out that like he would know, like you would know that, okay, you're going to walk up to where the troops are standing and you're going to go right and you're going to go across them. Right. Like you're going to know that like these things are like totally planned. It could be that he didn't know what was going on, or it could be that when they tried to tell him what he was going to be doing, that he just didn't fucking listen to him. I'm thinking it's more likely that it's the second one where he just fucking didn't listen to the people that were telling him what he was supposed to do when he got there. Because that sounds like it doesn't require a whole lot of assumptions. I don't know what's going on here and I have dementia requires a few more assumptions. Either one is bad. I think actually if he's like losing cognitive capacity, that's like, he shouldn't be the president, I suppose, but it's not as bad as like, I didn't listen to anybody. Up next, we got here's in a Japanese naval base. Here's the president addressing the troops, talking about catapults and steamships.
Costs come in. They spend 900. This is not on my watch, so you know. If it was on my watch, I would be very quiet about it. I wouldn't be talking about it. They spent $993 million on the catapults, trying to get them to work. And they had steam, which works so beautifully, and it has for 50 years, right? So we're going to go back. Seriously, fellas, I want to make that change. I'm going to do an executive order. I'm not going to let them continue to do this. They're trying to make it work. They're trying so hard, and they have something that's perfect. So we're going to go back on that and the magnets. Thank you very much. And of course, so
they're talking about the catapults. They're talking about on the aircraft carriers, and basically that they were using like steam, like as hydraulics before. And they, I guess they put in a new system, and you know when you do new systems, sometimes there's some hiccups and whatever with the new system. And instead of like trying to fix whatever the new system is, maybe the new system will end up being more reliable or whatever. But instead, he's like, we're just going to go back to steam. There are probably some problems with the old steam system. I don't know enough about it, but it just seems kind of dumb for him to be like addressing the fucking Navy and telling him that. Here's more of him addressing the Navy. He's just talking about, remember how he said he didn't like fat generals a while ago? Well, now he's saying that he doesn't even like good looking people. He's addressing like people that are probably all in like pretty good shape. And he's like, I don't like anybody to look good.
From the men and women of the rank and file, that's true. It comes from you people, incredible people, good-looking people, too many good-looking people. I don't like good-looking people. I never liked good-looking people, I'll be honest with you. I've never admitted that before. But see, I'm allowed to, we won in the Supreme Court a thing based on merit. You know about that, right? Merit. Everything now in our country is based on merit. And that's why I look at you and I see nothing but merit. It's great to have a country back where we can go by merit now. We don't go by anything else except for talent and work and hard work.
This is if this guy wasn't like a scary motherfucker doing scary things, this would be just fucking wall to wall comedy. But this isn't really that funny. I mean, it's funny, but not really. Here we go. Somebody in the chat was magnets. How do they work? Well, literally, the fucking president pulled a magnets. How do they work?
Second question. Hydraulic for your elevators or magnets? You know, the new thing is magnets. So instead of using hydraulic, you can be hit by lightning and it's fine. You take a little glass of water and you drop it on magnets. I don't know what's going to happen. So, you know, the elevator.
Friend, I fucking juggalos are way cooler than Trump. Somebody in chat's asking if Trump is a juggalo. He is not. The value system is vastly different than Donald Trump's. But friends, listen, I'm not a scientician, but magnets work when they get wet. Listen, I just know this, that magnets work when they get wet. And then after Japan, I guess he went to South Korea, and well, I don't know if the South Korean leader is trolling him or what here.
The Cheongnam gold crown symbolizes the divine connection between the authority of the heavens and sovereignty on earth, as well as the strong leadership and authority of a leader.
경주를 국비대로 차리신 우리 트럼프 대통령님께 한반도에 처음으로 평화를 가져온 신라의 정신과 함께 한미 동맹의 푸른 길을 상징하는 이 금관을 선물로 준비하였습니다.
We present this gold crown to you on this joyous occasion of your state visit to Gyeongju, because it symbolizes the spirit of Silla, which brought peace to the Korean peninsula for the first time, and the opening of the golden age of the Korea-U.S. alliance.
They're giving him a crown and like some fucking like royal necklace shit, like right after the No Kings rally. Man, I don't know. I don't know enough about their culture. I don't know. Are they making fun of him? I hope they're making fun of him. So after all this, on Air Force One, Trump addressed the press about his trip, and I don't know if you know this. He has previously met Tim Apple. Well, apparently he met Mr. Toyota, and he was impressed because Mr. Toyota is rich, I guess.
I met with Mr. Toyota, and we had an amazing meeting. I said, "What's your name?" "Toyota." I said, "You're rich," and he's going to invest.
No. Oh man, unless it was like just a different dude. I don't think the guy that runs Toyota is named Mr. Toyota. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on the fucking Toyota Motor Company. But here's oh no. So here's more from the press in the United States. This is AOC, Jasmine Crockett, a giraffe, and an elephant, and IQ tests. You go take the test I took where I had to fucking identify a giraffe and an elephant.
A great group of people, which they don't. They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard. They're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Please read out from Walter Reed.
I can't even fucking do this. He thinks he was given like some kind of IQ test, but these are like cognitive tests. These are like standard cognitive tests, actually, that they give older people. There's no problem here, but he wasn't given like a test to see whether or not he was a genius. These are to check and make sure he doesn't have dementia. That's fine. I mean, like, whatever. They didn't give none of those to Obama. He wasn't like 112 years old like all of our other fucking presidents. But so here's AOC at a recent rally for Zoran Mondani. We've moved away from for the most part, from the Trump stuff.
And I want us all to remember and to know that the future, our future, is not determined by a despot in a house built by enslaved people. Our future will be determined not in a house built by slaves, but in a city built by freemen, in a city built by unionists and immigrants and suffragists. The bricks laid by working people, past, present, and future, the seamstresses and the unionists who paid for our rights in blood. This city was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country, in a vision to build the freest, toughest, and greatest city on earth, and we will not stop now, New York. It is no surprise.
So this is the group of Democrats coming up is pretty good. It's just too bad there's a bunch of old people, and not just old people, the people my age that are like totally getting in the way of all this. Just because they're like afraid essentially that these people are like, they're not even like socialists or whatever. They're just unapologetically progressive and cosmopolitan and, talking about the virtues of, I don't like the melting pot metaphor. I prefer like a salad bowl kind of metaphor, maybe like a goulash of what's going on with different kinds of cultures in a city. And I don't know, they're like, it seems like the leadership of the party just still wants like moderate Republicans to vote for Democrats, and they're just not going to do it. So here's a hit, part of a news hit that Zoran Mondani did at ABC 7, the local New York affiliate, and just 45 seconds of full interview.
And how do you feel about what's happened since then, and what may be happening in a week from tomorrow?
I've been overjoyed by the fact that the coalition we had that day that we last spoke has only continued to grow. At that time, I would have told you we had 52,000 volunteers. Today we have more than 90,000. These are New Yorkers who have been knocking on doors across the 5 boroughs, phone banking people they've never met, all to further this agenda. And last night we had more than 10,000 New Yorkers come out to Forest Hill Stadium, and one of them was wearing a MAGA for Mamdani hat, a MAGA for Mamdani t-shirt.
Have you heard that before?
I hadn't heard it before. But that's the beauty of the general election, is you learn that caring about the affordability crisis, looking to actually make life that little bit easier for New Yorkers, it's not actually a partisan concern. It's one for each and every person. They include Republicans as well.
So I don't know about the MAGA for Mondani. I assume Mondani. I fucking keep saying his last name wrong. I apologize to the man. He seems like he's a good man. I don't mean to say his last name wrong. But maybe the person might be trolling. Who fucking knows? But yeah, they're probably conservatives, more conservative leaning people than you would imagine interested in voting for this guy. Might just be because they fucking hate Andrew Cuomo, which is it's reasonable to hate Andrew Cuomo. So here is a Newsmax, little short bit of a Newsmax hit about Zoran, and this is I guess it's a take of some kind. Wonderful website they got over there at X the Everything app. Let's see, is it gonna go? There it goes. Great website they got over there. No notes since apartheid Clyde took over.
I guess now it's more so like, chickens for KFC with this whole Mandami thing, or like cows for McDonald's here. Look, I mean, I don't know why any person who would be a Jewish person, who would be an American person, someone who lived through 9/11, which I did in New York City, being born and raised here, would be ready to vote for someone who has such ties to extremists. And there's nothing wrong with like actual American Muslims, especially you have like Nation of Islam, who are like Black American Muslims, people like.
What? Friends. Fuck the nation. Fuck the Nation of Islam. Scientology ass fucking motherfuckers. Bow tie wearing fucking assholes.
But this guy, Mandami, there's so many extreme people that he's been aligned with. And for this to have happened in New York City just 24 years ago, and like, this is where we are. Like, we were the city of like Giuliani and even like Bloomberg. And it's like, what the heck has happened? I mean, we only have a few more weeks to go. I mean, go Sliwa, go Cuomo, go anybody that's not this guy promising all this free stuff, because that's what's putting his whole coalition together. The promise of free stuff makes Jews forget that, like, he's an extremist.
Yeah, okay. Fucking God. Fucking leave it to Newsmax, yo. Jesus Christ. There's so much wrong with that one clip. I mean, at the end, he's like, "Oh, the promise of free stuff, it tricks the tricky, greedy Jews," or whatever. I don't know what he was saying there. But then he was like, "Oh, good Americans, good, like, regular, loving Americans, like the nation." You know who fucking hates the Jews? The nation. The nation. Those are that shit is some anti-Semitic fucking shit, dude. What the fuck? Well, don't worry. There's Zoran's challenger, the one that everybody thinks might have some chance of beating him. Don't worry, because he's not gonna say anything like what that guy was saying, right? He's not gonna like go on the Maria Bartiromo show on Fox News and say racist shit, right?
Related illness. So he is totally out of sync with New Yorkers, and more and more New Yorkers are realizing that.
Well, this is very important, because next year will be 25 years since 9/11, I believe. And if he's the mayor, how is he going to treat all of those people who are still in mourning from losing their lives? 3,000 people. I mean, all of the first responders that we lost on 9/11. I was there at the New York Stock Exchange. I guess I'm wondering if you're expecting New York to look more like London. You go to London right now, and it is largely Muslim. Women are completely covered up. I don't know if you expect, if Mamdani were to be in charge, him to change the look of New York as well.
Look, he is out of sync with how New Yorkers feel. You'd have to disassociate yourself immediately with anyone who said America deserved 9/11, right? It is so repulsive to all New Yorkers. I just think he doesn't get it. He's dual citizenship. He was a citizen of Uganda. His parents own a mansion in Uganda. He spent a lot of time there. He just doesn't understand the New York culture, the New York values, what 9/11 meant, what entrepreneurial growth means, opportunity means, why people came here.
Yeah. And you said that the Democrat Party is going through this civil war right now. It's interesting to see the support that he has gotten from people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. But let's put the socialism issue aside. I want to hear about your vision for New York. You were governor for 11 years. You know what is needed.
Wait, why isn't he the governor anymore?
For the state or for the city. What is your vision? What is your platform? You said you're going to hire 5,000 new cops. What else?
Yeah. Right out of the box, 5,000 cops, 1,500 in the subways.
Oh, he's fucking he's disconnected from the people in New York. No, he's not. He's fucking, if he's so disconnected from the people in New York, why is he beating you in the polls? Why is he like up by like in some polls, like head to head, him and Cuomo, he's up by like 15 points. Like what? So here's more of Andrew Cuomo. This is him. He's on MSNBC the weekend, and he's talking, and he did the stupidest fucking thing that you could do. Watch this. This is like an unforced error. Unforced error.
Give you a chance to correct the record if you didn't mean to say, but it sounded like you said diversity can also be a weakness. What did you mean by that?
Diversity can be a weakness if you have antipathy among groups, Jonathan. If you have racism.
Guy on the top left, Eugene. The guy on the bottom left, Jonathan. Fucking total unforced error. Unless you were like 100% sure in this situation, like you're gonna forget people's names. It's like we all forget people's fucking names, right? Like that's fucking fine. That's fucking fine. Yeah, Lisa in the chat's like they all look alike, but the two black dudes in this like couldn't look more different, right? Like style of dress, their haircut, facial features, like they look very different, but that's just because I'm fucking not Andrew Cuomo. But like unless you are 100% fucking sure, just don't use someone's name. Or if there's two women and a man, don't use the woman's name unless you're sure, because you're just gonna look like you're just gonna look like you think all bitches look the same or whatever too. Like what an unforced fucking error, dude. What the fuck? Why? Like just mind-expandingly stupid. So that's the end of that. And I really think like his latest media tour, it means that is the end of that. I think the Zoran's going to run away with this. I don't think it's going to be close. I think you're going to have local news outlets calling it before the polls even close. I don't think he's going to beat the second place person by 15 points, but 8, 9, where I think it's probably going to be. I mean, it's going to be a blowout. Up next, this is some stuff about the shutdown. This is news from Colorado, and they expect some people's premiums to more than double. And I know those people should just pick themselves up by their bootstraps, I guess. But
health insurance premiums are about to double for Coloradans on the individual market. The state's insurance division estimates that'll lead to about 75,000 Coloradans losing their health insurance. The state is blaming that increase on congressional Republicans who are not extending tax credits for health insurance. That is the key sticking point in the government shutdown, which is now in its 4th week. The state says that if those credits were to be extended, then Coloradans on the individual marketplace would see average premium increases of 16% as opposed to 100%. Open enrollment begins November 1st. Families who want coverage in January need to choose a plan by December 15th.
Oh, this is all fucked up. So this is all fucked up because this is like right during like open enrollment and shit. This is such like what a horrible thing for people. What a horrible thing for people. I'm so fortunate that I live in California and that I live in a county where there's a great county healthcare plan where I don't think my shit's going to go up at all. But like, you know, other people live in places where that's not the case. There's other places in California where people's premiums are going to go up, and California does its best, I think, in a lot of ways to try to make the most of what's available from the Affordable Care Act. But you can only do so much, especially for people like in places like Shasta where they fucking think healthcare is the devil or something. Here's Tim Walz talking about the shutdown and the ballroom.
Not a both sidesism. This is owned by the Republicans. It is owned by their ability to want to have anything their way. They've got a president that is pulling money back that was appropriated by the legislature, which these legislators, I'm glad they are, would be horrified by that idea, giving up their authority as an independent branch. So I know Democrats are ready to go. I know they're ready to come back and do this. They're ready to come back and protect things that had passed the legislature. They are not willing to come back and let an authoritarian president do whatever he wants. The people are going to be lined up out here to get food, and we're talking about a damn ballroom. Don't lose the plot.
Oh, that ballroom too. God, I saw pictures of the old, like, what they're tearing down, and what they're tearing down is beautiful. And now they're going to make it, they're going to make it look like it's going to be gold. It's going to be just white and fucking gold everywhere. It's going to be fucking so gross. And here's more of Tim Walz. Same press conference, or same place essentially. He's talking about DHS, and some of the stuff that they're doing is clearly just for theatrical purposes to try to scare folks.
On to know his visit and kind of her alleging that you've been non-cooperative?
Well, that's untrue. I have sat in front of Congress for 8 hours and said that. I do not run ICE. She does, on her private jets. I see ads for $50,000 in student loan forgiveness if you'll join ICE. We're looking for teachers and nurses. We're looking for folks that would like to run a food bank and things. So everything coming out of DHS right now is about theatrics. It's about a media hit or whatever. My guess is she's probably here on personal business and used it as a way to pay for it by having a press conference that had absolutely nothing factual and nothing new. So we'll continue to follow the federal laws, we always have. We will continue to do what's required of the state, and we would ask our federal partners, quit terrorizing people and do your job. No one's saying that you shouldn't go after criminals, but why are you standing in line arresting moms trying to pick up their kids from school as they're waiting for their immigration hearings to go through the proper channels? So just a distraction, more of the same. Again, somebody got intrepid journalists here. Really? Why would you come? Why did you? How much did it cost to come here and do that little press conference? And where were you staying when you were here? There's a little work to be done.
We'll wrap it there.
Well, that's actually a good question. Like where are you staying? Because like if they're staying at like the Waldorf or whatever, it's like, well, that's on the taxpayer money, right? They ain't staying at no fucking Holiday Inn Express. So I don't know. Tim Walz, I think he didn't do a great job when he ran, but he's been properly critical of the way that the campaign in 2024 is run, and he's all right. He's all right. Not my favorite. I clearly don't share all of his politics, but of the Democrats who has a bit of a public platform, he's certainly doing a better job than most of the other people in his age cohort. So Donald Trump had said that he is going to send more than the National Guard into American cities, and here's him being questioned about that on his way back from his trip to Asia.
What did you mean last night when you said you were prepared to send more than the National Guard into American cities?
Sure, I would. I would do that if it was necessary. If it was necessary, I'd do that, but it hasn't been necessary. We're doing a great job without that, but yeah, if it was necessary. As you know, I'm allowed to do that.
Do you mean other branches of the military you would send in, or?
If it were, who are you with?
The New York Times.
Well, that's very good, very good. Well, if you write it correctly, I'll give you the answer. But if I want to enact a certain act, I'm allowed to do it routinely, and about 50% of presidents have used that, as you know, and I'd be allowed to do whatever I want. But we haven't chosen to do that because we're doing very well without it.
So I noticed on the bottom right of this frame, it says ceasefire back on after strikes. It's like, well, it's not really a ceasefire if one side gets to just go, not anymore, and then fucking blow some shit up and then be like, okay, ceasefire back on.
Be allowed to do that, you understand? And the courts wouldn't get involved, nobody would get involved, and I could send the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, I could send anybody I wanted, but I haven't done that because we're doing so well without it. Washington, D.C. continues to be amazing, safe, and it's really great. As I said, Memphis, where we are now, is doing really well. It's down, I think, almost 70%. And within 2-3 weeks, it'll be down to almost no crime. Now, we're taking a lot of bad people out. We're incarcerating some very bad people, some gangs. They have a lot of bad gangs there, and we're taking care of it. And we're doing things that, frankly, local law enforcement is going to have a hard time doing. We were all set to go last Saturday into San Francisco. We look forward to that. We would have solved that problem in less than a month. But at the behest of a couple of really great people, very successful, great civic-minded people, they said, we'd love to try doing it ourselves, and that's okay.
No, they didn't go into San Francisco because Daniel Lurie is the mayor, and Daniel Lurie is a rich white guy, and he asked them not to go in. That's my take on what happened in San Francisco. Didn't really stay around in Oakland very long either, but I think that might have been a slightly different scenario, where maybe they were told something different. Like that if you try that here in the city, these people aren't going to fucking put up with it.
We worked with the mayor, and we're working with those people, but we didn't surge the city. And I said, if we surge, it's going to go a lot quicker, and it's much more effective. But I want to give them a chance to do it themselves if they can. If they can't do it themselves, we'll solve San Francisco in 3 weeks.
All right. Well, the audio video sync on that was off in a pretty dramatic way, but that's like not that big a deal. I seriously think that he fucking didn't go into San Francisco because the mayor is like a rich white tech guy, and like somebody in the chat said, like the donors, that they have a lot of the same donors probably, and so they were putting pressure on him to not do that because they want to see it on TV, right? But they don't want to see it in their town. Nobody wants to see this in their town. Up next, we got cosplay Christy Gnome on potentially, somebody was asked, like, would you chill out maybe on Halloween so that people can go trick-or-treating without being worried about the fucking Gestapo? And her answer is not going to surprise you.
Quick final question following up on Chicago, because I know that there are a lot of Chicagoans talking about this right now, because there is a lot of ICE activity, obviously, in that city, and you are making the case, obviously, rightly so. But the governor has asked you specifically to pause immigration enforcement operations in that city. So he says that kids can safely celebrate Halloween. Do you have any plans to alter activity tomorrow on that day?
No, we're going to be out on the streets in full force and increase our activities to make sure kids are safe. Every day in Chicago, we're arresting murderers, child pedophiles, those who have perpetuated assault and pornography against children. We're going to be out there to make sure that they can be safe, enjoy the holidays, spend some time with their families and their neighbors and their communities, and they don't have to be the victim of a crime because of these illegal aliens that are in our country victimizing them.
Madam. Oh my God. So the answer is no. And well, she wasn't kidding. This is a Halloween parade. They fucking I'm not even fucking kidding. They tear gassed Halloween parade. Look at this! Look at this fucking Halloween party. People are out with their dogs and shit. The Gestapo's there. Like, this is just, come on. The rest of the world must be looking at this just in fucking absolute disbelief.
What the fuck? Hey, why is this driving your car? You're a fucking Nazi. Shit. 7 years old. Be easy on this. Say that. 7 years old. Dude, woman, man. What is he fucking suffocating? Dude, I'm a fucking lawyer. I'm a fucking lawyer. What are you doing? Fucking pigs! Fucking pigs! Michael! Get out of my neighborhood! Are you a citizen? Get on this block. You're a fucking liar! You make shit up! You don't walk around here insulting everyone. You're fucking careful! You're fucking nothing! Where are you taking this? Where are you taking this? Get out of our neighborhoods! Fucking good! Bastard piece of shit! Fuck you, Mike! Get the fuck out of Chicago, you cowards! You fucking terrorists! Get out of our city, you fascists! You have a price to be a coward! $50,000 to be a fucking traitor! Yeah, you! All of you! Fuck off! I don't give a shit. Get off my property. Take your fucking mask off, you coward. Take your mask off, you Nazi. You fucking coward. Get off my property. You conduct an arrest. Get off my fucking property. You hear me? This is private property. Get off my property. You are not engaged in law enforcement action. Get off my property. You're not involved. Get off my fucking property. I'm living in my fucking house. Shit. You're a fucking coward. Hey, you are all fucking cowards. Take your fucking mask off, you fucking coward. You're a fucking coward. Hey! You're a fucking coward. You fucking
What the fuck? Dude, did they just de-arrest that grandma? I think we just watched them fucking, they tried to like take that old lady and I think that we just watched them fucking de-arrest her. I think. It's hard to see.
He's gone. He's gonna be gone. You need to call.
So when we see a lot of this footage, we're not seeing footage from like the south side of Chicago where they would claim all the fucking criminals are at it. This is like a lot of what we're seeing here is from the fucking suburbs. They had that old lady. That old lady, all she did was walking her dog and started telling them to go fuck themselves. I don't know if they let her go or if the fucking people in the neighborhood just fucking were able to essentially like undetain her or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I think like a lot of people that like we're going to not care that much about this, or we're going to find like some kind of reason, some justification for themselves to like ignore it, are going to see scenes like this and be like, well, wait a minute, that looks like my neighborhood. I thought they were going to go after people, you know, on the other side, the wrong side of the track. They're going after people on the right side of the tracks. Like, I think a lot of people who might have otherwise been okay with this are like going to see this stuff and not okay with it, but would have maybe otherwise found reasons to ignore it. Or maybe not going to ignore it so much. Because that's like, that was some white picket fence ass shit there. Up next, we got the goon squad. It looks like just randomly stopping children on their bikes.
Hell no. By what, shorty? By what, nigga?
Why you running, man?
What the fuck are y'all doing, bro?
What's up? Why you running?
Cause why the fuck you chasing me? Why the fuck you chasing me?
Where you from?
Fuck you chasing me? I'm from here.
You're from here? Where's here?
You have an ID? I'm a kid. Huh? How old are you? I'm 16. 16? Yeah.
Why you saying words, right?
Huh?
You're a U.S. citizen, that's why you check.
Yeah, I am a U.S. citizen.
You got an ID? You got something that you can show me?
I mean, I have a school ID.
Let me see that.
Those kids are like 14.
Because we don't got school right now?
Yeah, what's up?
Because teacher parent conference.
I'm so nervous, relax.
Huh?
And then if you just tell me that you were born here and give me an ID, you'll be good.
I was born here, but I don't got ID.
You don't have no ID?
No.
Can you do facial?
So this thing on the screen is incorrect. It's not the software that they're using. Because when I heard about this software that they're able to use to look at people's faces and determine information about them, I thought it smelled like Palantir too. It's not Palantir as it's said on the screen here, but I could see why someone might get this wrong.
Real quick, we'll be in and out.
You're Mexican? You're Mexican? Sure. You're Mexican?
You see how easy
You're
it is
Mexican?
to answer a question?
I mean, why you covering your face?
Does it matter?
You pussy or what?
Oh, you're the one that doesn't want to answer the question, man. Just get over here. So I don't see. You got no ID? Turn.
Oh, shit. Damn, y'all boys is deep.
Bro. So we can't even go to the store, bro. What's your
That
name?
ass. Huh?
What's your name?
Pedro.
What is it?
Huh?
What's your name?
What you doing?
What's your name?
I'm just asking. What
So, yeah, I looked it up, and strangely enough, it's one of the few things that Palantir isn't involved in. I'm not saying they don't have face recognition software, and this could have been somebody else, but ICE is not using, as far as I was able to determine, not using software created by Palantir. That doesn't mean it's good because the software wasn't created by fucking Palantir or whatever. It's just that, like, you know, people are associating this stuff with Palantir as they should, I think. I don't remember who made the software because I definitely looked that up. Now, it could be true that there is multiple software, and the source that I looked at was old or whatever. But I did my best to check into it. I don't think at this time that this particular piece of software that's being used is made by Palantir. But I also could be wrong. Anything's possible around here. But you know who's really going to be wrong here? This is Jesse Waters. He's going to talk about Portland anti-fascist action, and he's going to be incredibly wrong.
But Antifa didn't go far. They hauled their anarchist cookbooks and gas masks up the street to a new safe house. But the feds are on their tails. We just arrested a Portland Antifa lieutenant for attacking ICE back in June.
I don't think the anti-fascist action has like lieutenants. They're trying to make it out like it's like organized crime, like the mob or whatever. But one of the reasons that anti-fascist action is and can be effective is because they don't have that kind of structure. You can't sort of, cut off the head, so to speak, and render the rest of it ineffective, because that's not how any of it works. It's like individuals who, take advice from one another and will listen to people maybe with like more experience. Sure. But there's no structure in the way that fucking dumb fuck Jesse Waters was trying to suggest that there is. It just doesn't work like that. And honestly, it can't work like that. If it was like that, it would have been dismantled fairly quickly already. But you can't dismantle something that isn't a structure or a hierarchy to begin with. So up next, there's a developing story out of Utah. I guess there's going to be an internment camp, best I can describe, for homeless folks. And this is someone telling us a little bit about it.
They want to put up more of these alligator Alcatraz style mega tent sprung structure type facilities. They've got the kind of pilot project for that in Utah, where the governor has said, we are going to completely support and implement Trump's executive order. And just last week, their homelessness board, which was created by some Cicero legislation, they passed a plan for a 1,300 person megatent camp 7 miles outside of downtown in the middle of nowhere, no public transportation. 300 beds are going to be involuntarily committed, locked facilities. Another set of beds are going to be no voluntary entry or exit. It's going to be where you get sent for jail diversion. And then the rest of the beds, even though theoretically you could come and go, they're going to be actively enforcing anti-camping, anti-loitering, all these other laws. The thing that scares me the most is that they say some of these units are going to be work-conditioned housing, which to me means forced labor. And we've seen some of these other bills introduced at the state level that also have this forced labor element to them in Louisiana and West Virginia. To my eyes, I see them kicking out all the undocumented, low-paid labor from the country.
Gotta make up for it somewhere.
Gotta make up for it somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If you're getting rid of people who are here without papers, who are doing, manual labor, you gotta make up the fucking, gotta pick up the slack somewhere. And I guess we'll pick up the slack from the fucking poor people. I mean, I'm poor people. I didn't used to be poor people, but I stream for a living now. So clearly I'm now poor people. Maybe they'll put me in a camp and they'll make me fucking try to do manual labor, which will suck because I'm not good at fucking, I'm clumsy. I'll be a fucking danger to everybody around me. Up next, we got some violent propaganda from the government, as they ought to do lately.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Yo, I mean, I have friends, like, if that's just straight fascist propaganda. There's no other way to describe what that is. Like, then, like, the rest of the world has to be looking at this and, like, starting to, like, think about, like, potentially what they're going to have to do, like, when the United States comes for them. Because, like, I don't know, if I was in the Mexican government right now, I'd be pretty concerned, right? I'd be pretty concerned that the fucking United States would be invading soon, just because, like, I don't know, we run out of fucking people here to terrorize. Mexico's right there. Fucking Canada. And they pissed off at Canada too. So maybe Canada, man, this ain't good. This ain't good because this stuff only accelerates, right? We've seen throughout history that this stuff, people were talking in chat about the internment camps, the work camps, and how those turned into like death camps over time. This stuff only accelerates. We don't have examples in history where they were like propping up work camps, rounding up people, and at some point they're like, I think we've done enough of that, and then just stopped. We haven't, there are very few, probably zero examples of that. So this is just going to keep accelerating and getting worse. This isn't going to be great. Speaking of not great, here's JD Vance talking about how to be like the world's shittiest neighbor.
Who's out of a house is actually evicted from the house because there are people who are going to pay more for rent. And then what happens is 20 people move into a 3-bedroom house, 20 people from a totally different culture, totally different ways of interacting. Again, we can respect their dignity while also being angry at the Biden administration for letting that situation happen and recognizing that their next door neighbors are going to say, well, wait a second, what is going on here? I don't know these people. They don't speak the same language that I do. And because there are 20 in the house next door, it's a little bit rowdier than it was when there was just a family of 4, a family of 5. It is totally reasonable and acceptable for American citizens to look at their next door neighbors and say, I want to live next to people who I have something in common with. I don't want to live next to 4 families of strangers. And the fact that we had
what the fuck? No, I mean, I don't know. I'm a kind of neighborly guy. I say hi to everybody around here. I don't give a fuck what language my neighbors speak. I hope that there aren't fucking people crammed into a living situation where people are unsafe because of the lack of space. That's fucking horrible. Like, I feel bad for people in that situation, and I would want the government to help them if the government was going to do anything about it. You got this guy over here going, people should be, they could be concerned when the neighbors don't speak the same language. Motherfucker, your neighbor moves in, they probably do speak some English. They speak, 1.5 languages essentially, when your ass probably only speaks 1. Like, that's horrible. What a horrible way to be somebody's neighbor. You're not really their neighbor anymore. You're just a fucking harasser. You're just like a neighborhood bully, if that's how you think about the people in your fucking neighborhood. Up next, we got more of JD Vance. He's asked a pretty good question at one of these events. This is a Turning Point event where he's like, I'm going to go debate people like Charlie did. Well, this person's going to ask him a real good question.
Hello, Mr. Vice President. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to talk here today.
I did not agree with many of the things that you said right ahead of this, but I don't think that's my point to discuss here. What I want to ask is, you are married to a woman who is not Christian. In her Wikipedia, I mean, I just looked that up. I wanted to know what her faith was. I didn't know this before. But she still calls herself Hindu. You are raising three kids in cultural, racial, religious household. How are you maintaining, or how are you teaching your kids not to keep your religion ahead of their mother's religion? Or how are you teaching them that your kind, they're that kind who got here just few years or few decades ago is different or is better than your mom's kind who got here just a generation before? How are you balancing that? And when you talk about too many immigrants here, when did you guys decide that number? Why did you sell us a dream? You made us spend our youth, our wealth in this country and gave us a dream. You don't owe us anything. We have worked hard for it. Then how can you, as a vice president, stand there and say that we have too many of them now and we are going to take them out to people who are here rightfully so by paying the money that you guys asked us? You gave us the path, and now how can you stop it and tell us we don't belong here anymore? And one more thing, one more thing.
Sure.
Do you have to
There's
be...
a lot there. I don't know if I'm going to remember all this, but I will try.
I'm sorry. I had to say all of this, and please take it with due... I mean, I'm saying all of this with due respect.
Go ahead.
I
Please.
have no intention of causing a scene here or anything, but...
We're not close to causing a scene, don't worry.
But we talked about Christianity, all of this. I'm not even Christian, and I'm here standing to so support. Why are we making Christianity one of the major thing that you have to have in common to be one of you guys, to show that I love America just as much as you do? Why is that still a question? Why do I have to be a Christian?
Okay, so there was a lot there, and I'm going to try to respond to as much of it as I can. So on the question of immigration, so first of all, I can believe that we should have lower immigration levels, but if the United States passed a law and made a promise to somebody, the United States, of course, has to honor that promise. Nobody's talking about that. I'm talking about people who came in violation of the laws of the United States of America, and I'm talking about in the future reducing the number of people. Sorry, what?
May I continue on that? Because when you just said you are not stopping with the people who came here legally, right? But you are pushing out policies that hurt us. And these policies are not even solving the problems. These policies are just creating chaos.
Ma'am. Okay, so again, I'm gonna finish answering the question, and then if I've answered all 9 of your questions in less than 15 minutes, then we can keep on going. We got to have a little fun, right? So here's the thing. I can believe that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country. But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world, it's to look out for the people of the United States.
Dude, this is exactly, he's like doing this in an ode to fucking Charlie Kirk. He's doing it exactly what Charlie Kirk did, right? Where he would have a crowd that was largely sympathetic to him, and someone would come up who had a different point of view. And the main thing I don't like about this, he's like calling these debates. This isn't a debate. A debate is like if you're both on the stage, you have more or less equal time and you both have control of your own microphone. This is just him like just spewing out a fucking pre-planned talking point, like to questions, to like honest questions that people like this woman are asking. And he didn't even address like the thing about like how he's in like a multicultural family and like what is he telling his kids about like religion and culture. Like, is his better than his wife's and whatnot? He didn't even address that because of course he didn't. That's a tough question. She's young, and if I was advising someone like her, I would have just asked her to just ask that, or to ask maybe what the exact amount of immigrants would be fine. Like if you think there's too many, whatever. She's young. Good for her though. Good for her. Here is the National Guard being deployed in California to looks like do a good thing. Check this out.
I'd say the benefit is I'm getting to, do what I enlisted to do. I get to serve the people of California, help people that are in need right now with this whole government shutdown who need some food. So I'm very happy to be here. As soon as I heard the word, I knew I had to volunteer. So my job here today, I'm putting traditional pasta sauce in this box and passing it along down the line. These kits are going out to people who need some food, so we're here to help. My name is Specialist Trevini Juan Pablo. I'm a Bravo Company 746 DSSB, hailing out of Red Bluff, California.
Oh, he's from Shasta County too. Good for him for doing this and for getting the fuck out of Shasta County.
I'm having a great time.
He's of a certain age cohort. I wonder if any of our people up in Shasta County know this fella. I didn't know when I got this that he was from up there. Red Bluffs in Shasta County. We cover a lot of Shasta County stuff. I wonder if he knows like Nathan and our lady lawyer and all them. Who knows? Good for him though. Like this is like the National Guard is like primarily to like guard the nation, and in this case, obviously, like if people are starving and there's food available, distributing it is a good use of the National Guard. Better than going into the city and cracking skulls, right? So up next, we got a clip from the 5. It wouldn't be the Sunday show if we didn't have at least one clip from the 5. Here's Jessica Tarlov talking about bombing boats off the coast of Venezuela. This has been an ongoing thing she's been talking about actually on the 5. And she's asking like, how do we know that these are drug traffickers? How do we know anything about these people?
No one can confirm that we've actually been taking out narco traffickers or huge drug traffickers, however you want to say it. And last week when we were talking about this, Dana had just seen the alert that the admiral in charge of the Southern Command had resigned. And he was the one who was in charge of this. And the reporting is that he wasn't comfortable with the mission and had been pushing back within the Pentagon. And do you think he would have resigned if everything was by the book? So we have 32 people that have been killed so far, 7 individual strikes. We know that the Colombian president is alleging at least that an innocent fisherman was murdered. We know that there's a family from Trinidad who's saying that a member of their family was killed. And then it is really important that we have repatriated 2 people, one to Colombia, one to Ecuador, because that indicates that we don't have any evidence to prosecute them, that we didn't know who these guys were. Because if you did have evidence, you would bring them before a court. And I know that you're going to make fun of me, and I am prepared for it each and every day, but drug traffickers also have rights. The law applies. We should have the evidence. They should be charged with something, and they should come before a court of law. And Rand Paul was on the Sunday shows this weekend, and he said to Kristen Welker, when you kill someone, if you're not in a declared war, which we are not, Congress with the war powers, you really need to know someone's name at least. You have to accuse them of something. You have to present evidence. So all these people have been blown up without any evidence of a crime. They're also saying that it's about fentanyl, and people who analyze the area are saying that there's drugs that go through, but it's mostly cocaine and marijuana that are headed actually to Europe and to Africa. So the government story is not adding up.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's like a country that can't really defend itself, and we're just blowing up their boats because the fucking president wants people to believe, he wants dumb people to believe that those are filled with fentanyl bound for the United States. When we know that the fentanyl comes in the United States through like legitimate ports of entry. It's like so much easier and to get like illegal items in through like a fucking shipping container. Like you hide it in a shipping container. That's how the shit gets in here. This is like, it's unreal that people are so stupid that they think that these little boats are going to bring over all this fucking fent. No, they're not. We don't even know where those boats are heading. We don't even know if they're heading anywhere like outside of the country where they came from. We don't know shit. We just fucking blow them up because I guess I don't know why actually, because we're not getting information on that. And she brought up Rand Paul. Here's a quick clip of Rand Paul talking about Venezuela and fentanyl.
Number one, there is no fentanyl made in Venezuela. Not just a little bit, there's none being made in Venezuela. These are outboard boats that, in order for them to get to Miami, would have to stop and refuel 20 times. They're in all likely going to Trinidad and Tobago, which is an island right off of the coast of Venezuela. So there's a lot of reasons to be worried about this. But number one is the broader principle of when can you kill people indiscriminately? When you're at war. That's why when we declare war, it's supposed to be done by Congress. It's supposed to be thoughtful. It's supposed to be debated. And we're not supposed to do it willy-nilly. And then when you have war, you just kill people in the war zone. And even then there are rules of engagement. But interdicting drugs has always been a criminal activity and a criminal anti-crime sort of activity where we don't just summarily execute people. We actually present evidence and convict them.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he's not wrong. I don't like the... I mean, I knew those boats weren't going to make it to Miami. I mean, fucking having to refuel all those times seems like a real inconvenient way to traffic drugs in the United States. Seems inefficient. I don't know how you're going to fucking find like a boat gas station when you run out of gas. So there's no mid-ocean refueling network for these things. They're not fucking those. They're not bringing drugs to the United States from the coast of Venezuela in a boat like that. Get the whole fuck out of here. Absolutely not. Up next, we got Cuba's representative to the United Nations has some interesting things to say, and kind of stops the U.S. representative to the UN when he's saying some bullshit. That's pretty good.
They undermine democracies in our hemisphere.
I'm very sorry to interrupt, but there's a point of order from Cuba.
Sure. Madam President,
Yes, we have to give the floor to the point of order and the representative of Cuba.
Artículo 71 y 60.
In 61 and 68 of the rules, the permanent representative of the United States is not only lying, substantively deviating from the subject, but is also grossly and expressing against his president, against the dignity of the Assembly and the member states. He is doing so in an uncivilized, crude and gross way that is not acceptable in this democratic forum. Mr. Waltz, this is the United Nations General Assembly. It is not a signal chat, nor is it the House of Representatives.
Good job. He's like, this isn't your Signal group chat, buddy. That doesn't matter. Like, they can't do anything about it, but like, good for him. Good for him for that point of order. Jesus Christ. Now we're going to talk about the U.S.'s ongoing problem, I suppose, dispute with Canada. This is Secretary of Treasury Besant from Malaysia on NBC News talking about new tariffs on Canada, and well, he was on vacation, so he doesn't really know anything about it, actually.
Will the 10% tariffs apply to all Canadian goods, Mr. Secretary?
Kristen, I've been traveling since this unfortunate event happened. I know that the ad's been taken down. So, we'll have to see. But I just think it was terrible judgment by this premier, who has a bit of a reputation for being a hothead.
That's a fucking wild thing to say. That ad was great. They're still claiming that it's fake and that Ronald Reagan never said that shit about tariffs, but they're just wrong. They're just lying. My God. Up next, we got it's from the Canadian Scope. Elbows up from the Canadians, as they say up there up north of us.
Trade tensions have escalated between Canada and the U.S. following a fresh move by President Donald Trump. Trump announced a new 10% hike in tariffs on Canadian goods, saying the punitive measure was a response to an ad run by the government of Ontario. This comes a day after Trump called off trade talks with Ottawa in reaction to the advertisement. While Ontario Premier Doug Ford agreed to pull the ad after the weekend, Trump posted on social media that the ad should have been pulled sooner, signaling a hard line in the ongoing trade dispute.
To all the proud Canadians, we are growing stronger than ever. Canada isn't anyone's backup plan, not Trump's, not Detroit's, and not Washington's. When the U.S. threw tariffs at us, they thought we'd fold. Instead, we stood taller. Because real strength doesn't come from threats, it comes from leadership. While Trump hides behind bluster, Mark Carney is in Asia, shaking hands, building trade bridges, and fighting for Canadians' independence. This isn't just diplomacy, it's a turning point. Canada's done playing nice. We're driving our own future now, full speed ahead. Let's get one thing straight. Canada doesn't take orders, and certainly not from Donald Trump. When he slapped a 10% tariff hike on Canadian goods just because Ontario ran an ad defending free trade, it wasn't strength, it was panic. He's losing control, and this is his tantrum. But here's the twist. Canada isn't begging to be let back in. We're already moving forward. Mark Carney is quietly doing what real leaders do, protecting Canadians' wallets, not his ego. He's opening doors to Asia, making it easier for Canadians to buy cars and trade freely without Washington's mood swings dictating prices. Why should Canadians keep paying more for American cars when better, fairer deals are waiting overseas? This is about independence, economic and political. Trump's playbook is intimidation. Carney's is innovation. While the U.S. is busy building walls, we're building trade bridges. Canadians deserve the freedom to buy smarter, cheaper, and fairer, and that's exactly what's happening. So when Trump tries to threaten the Canadian auto industry, remember, we don't have to buy his cars, his threats, or his lies.
Hell yeah. I mean, this is fucking Doug Ford's kind of a piece of shit. But this is all good Canadian elbows up shit. They're like, oh, I don't know, we could just buy cars from somewhere else. Heard they make trucks actually in Japan. The Toyota trucks are pretty good. What a dumb fucking thing. What a dumb fucking thing. And Michigan being right across the border from Canada, a lot of steel comes in from Canada. A lot of raw materials that the automakers need come in from Canada. So if there's a tariff on that, the U.S. automakers end up paying more for it. Then you end up paying more for the car. And then they fucking if they tariff the car, they tariff the fucking goods when they come across, and then the cars are going to be tariffed when they go across the border again. Now those cars are going to be so fucking expensive that there's no reason not to just buy a Japanese one, or even like a German car, which tend to be more expensive than American cars. Like, this is all fucking stupid. This is all monumentally stupid. It's our country, though, everybody. I don't know. I guess everybody here isn't an American. Thankfully, we have non-American viewers here who can give us a non-American perspective every once in a while. Here's Mike Johnson talking about executive orders signed by with the auto pen, which, like, I don't know why they fucking think it's irrelevant or not valid, because as far as I know, during at least the first Trump administration, he used the thing too.
And you'll be reporting on this all day, but the Oversight Chairman James Comer released a blockbuster report now on the Biden auto pen presidency. And this report includes 47 hours worth of transcripts and testimony revealing that every executive action signed by the auto pen without written authorization from President Biden should be voided. This is an unprecedented situation in American politics and government. The actions of President Biden simply were not all his own actions, and there are major implications to that, including all the pardons that he signed. But don't get me started. Okay, on Friday.
Don't get you started. this auto pen thing, everybody used it up until now. They just don't like, they want to do all their own pardons and their own executive orders, but they don't want to fucking, they don't want to let the guy before him be able to particularly pardon people. I think they fucking specifically, I think they want to go after Hunter Biden. I think that's what they want to do. I think they just want to go after fucking, they want to go after his, Joe Biden's son, because that'll piss him off, basically. Like, it's really dumb. Like, first of all, like, I don't like the idea of the pardon in the first place. I don't think that the president, just because you're friends with the president or whatever, or the president's kid, that you should be able to get out of some shit that you did. That sounds that's stupid anyway. But like, if the president gets to do it, then the president gets to do it. And I don't see why we should have it undone because the president wanted to do it and used like a machine essentially to sign like his signature on things. I don't know. It's dumb as fuck. Up next, this story's been kind of big in Democratic circles, and people are like staking out different territory on it. And, I think maybe even people in here are going to have different opinions than mine. This is a place where one of the rare instances where I'm breaking with the folks over at the Majority Report. This is Graham Plattner. He's on MSNBC talking about sort of the backlash that he's facing over his tattoos and his going to work for Eric Prince as recently as 2018.
You said to that point, I mean, you also said at your event last night that you're running as a Democrat despite my party trying to destroy my life. And there's no question, I've talked about this on the show and otherwise. I mean, you had Chuck Schumer encouraged the governor to get in the race, to run against you. There's an outside fundraising committee. That happens in other races, but that certainly is a challenge. You're running as an outsider for sure, which is probably an advantage for you. But campaigns, I mean, they use opposition research. It can get very ugly. But these were comments you made, as you said, you knew they could come to light, a tattoo on your body. And when you say the party is trying to destroy your life, it sounds like a little bit like you're trying to shirk responsibility for things that you did and comments that you made.
Not in the slightest. I mean, for the record, I've not shied away from anything. I frankly have been doing nothing but interviews for the past week and a half on exactly this topic. I've talked about it at length with multiple news outlets. It's not that. It's the fact that it was never, no one was ever curious. Nobody ever asked me, about why I would have felt those things in the past, or if I am the same person today. Nobody had any curiosity about why would a guy who's been like an avowed anti-fascist his entire life have a tattoo that looks like something some fascists use. I mean, the answer was because I was in the Marine Corps and I got it with some other Marines, but nobody was curious.
Well, the question is, when did you get it covered up and why?
Out as if this kind of wave, all at a very specific moment in this race. And it is, I know I'm getting into politics. I know it's a dirty game. I understand that. I have also I live a regular life down here. And it's really interesting to have this whole power structure essentially turn on to try to drag my name through the mud. It's a surreal experience, if I'm going to be entirely honest. But I'm not trying to shirk responsibility in the slightest. It's why I've been happy to talk about it. We could have done something else.
But you're not. You're talking about you're just talking about it. This guy could assuage me right here just by saying, hey, actually, I didn't know what it was when I got it. And I had it covered up a few years later. I had it modified a few years later when I found out what it was. I was a stupid young person and I was drunk and I got it and I had no idea. And then I got it covered up as soon as I found out what it was. That's the right answer. But I think he's not saying that because I don't think that's what happened, because if that's what happened, that's what he'd be saying. And I'd be like, well, whatever. I wouldn't even be fucking mad about it.
But I honestly believe that talking about my journey to where I am now is one of the best things I can do, because I can show to people why I got my politics. Why do I care about universal health care? Why do I care about ending foreign military like adventurism? Why do I care about expanding childcare and taxing corporations so we can help rebuild American infrastructure? I mean, I didn't come up with these values. I earned them through my life, and I got here through the struggles that brought me to this point. And I want to talk about that.
So I don't like, the thing is, like, my understanding is that it has been covered up. The tattoo has been covered up, which is fucking good, right? Like, you shouldn't keep a tattoo like that. But I don't know why the answer to that isn't, all right, I found out what it was and I got it fucking changed immediately. The other thing is, like, during the Trump administration, this guy went and worked for the company, Eric Prince's company, keeps changing its fucking name. It was Blackwater, and then it was calling itself Academy. And then I fucking called itself something else or whatever. And, like, if he wants to stop the war machine, don't go work for Eric Prince. This is like less than 10 years ago. I'm skeptical here. And the other thing is, I think because Maine, everything being as it is with Maine, it's going to be fairly close. Maine is a blue state, but not by that much. I think it's going to depress turnout. I think this guy's going to lose. I don't remember his Democratic primary opponent's name. I don't think I like her that much, and I'm not sure she can win either. But we need to do better than this. We need to do better than this. Like, who was doing the fucking Oppo research and shit, dude? What the fuck? What the whole fuck? Fucking incompetent fucking Bush League bullshit. Up next. This is Sean Duffy, the Transportation Secretary. I just included this because this is another one of our in our long series of these people. If there's one thing these fucking people hate, it's the fucking bus and the train.
State portion funding for businesses and federal funding by that far?
We'll see. I want to look at the proposals. I guess with MTA, I have a little. Some other concerns. I do think if you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, you don't like cars, and you want people to ride public transportation.
Oh, that's right. My parents, Democrats, liberals, hate cars. They just buy a brand new one every 2 years. They hate fucking cars, though. Oh, my God.
I think that's wonderful. Good for you. But if you want us all to ride public transportation, make it safe, make it clean, make it beautiful, and then you don't...
I'd go safe and clean, but does the fucking train and the bus have to be beautiful?
Argue about your cars or your subways. Everyone wants to ride the subway because it's faster and it's safer, and kids can get on it and families can ride without fear of life. And
wait, how old are your kids? Don't send your kids on public transportation by themselves until they're like, at least, I don't know, 13, something like that. The school bus is different, I suppose.
And I don't know why New York can't do that. It shouldn't be a big, I don't know why I have to convince the governor to actually get engaged and say, we're going to make the subway safer and cleaner. I shouldn't have to. I think there should be an uprising in the city that you all want to ride your subways, you pay for it, and you should feel, free from crime when you do it. And again, this shouldn't be complicated, but it seems like in the city, not by the people, but the leadership doesn't seem to get that. Yes.
Wait, what? These people just hate fucking public transit. Yeah, the New York subway is not going to be clean. Like when I lived in Campbell in San Jose, light rail was clean, but you know why light rail was clean? Because nobody fucking rides it. Right? It's it's always on time and it's like super clean and shit, but that's because there's nobody on there. So it's like really easy to keep something clean when nobody rides it, but when everybody in the fucking biggest city in the country rides the fucking public transit, yeah, it's going to get dirty. Like all the problems that you have like off the subway are going to be on the subway, and maybe they'll be a little bit, amplified by the fact that everybody's like together in tight quarters. So there's going to be maybe more chances for conflict that goes potato or whatever. But like New Yorkers, they love the subway. They all ride it because trying to drive a car around New York City is fucking insanity. Up next, we got a clip. It's two of the worst people in the world, honestly. And, but the point here is correct. I can't believe we're doing this. I can't believe we're fucking doing this. This is Marjorie the Gathering on the fucking Bill Maher show. Marjorie the Gathering, fucking the moderate wing of the fucking Republican Party.
both of us. I know he's mad at me, but we still...
Actually, I've got a great relationship with the president. I've always supported him and gave him my support for free.
Yeah, but you are finally the one Republican who's dissenting. I was going to do a whole piece on you, and then we find you booked on the show, so I'll just say it to you. Like, for all those people on the left who've been saying, where is the Republican who will stand up on issues against Trump? I mean, they're just such ass kissers. They just fall in line. Well, right here. I mean, you've dissented on the Epstein files. You've dissented on a number of issues. Healthcare. Where's my list? Okay. ICE. The government shutdown. He's spending too much time overseas and not enough here. And you know, the Obamacare one. Let's talk about that one. I mean, I would love to know what the Republicans really want to do about healthcare, which is the premiums are going to go up tomorrow.
Me too. I'm waiting for the plan. I haven't seen it yet. That's been a lot of my angst. So a lot of the things I say are against my own party, but they're mainly my frustrations in Congress. I believe that Congress should be solving a lot of these problems. However, Congress is not solving these problems. And I have Republican leadership. You know, looking at Obamacare, it was passed in 2010. It went into place in 2014, and premiums have skyrocketed ever since. It was good for some that couldn't afford health insurance or couldn't get health insurance. But for
so the thing she's wrong about here is that the Affordable Care and Patient Protection Act, people forget about the second part there, worked in the states where the states got involved. California, New York, Massachusetts, for example, all got involved and tried to help make it work, and it's been working great in those states. The states that tried to oppose it, it's not working. It didn't work so well there because the state house essentially was against it and tried to make things fucking more difficult. That's like, you don't have to think very deeply about that to figure out how that happened.
middle class, small business owners, people that had to buy their own insurance, it has crushed them. And so I've been demanding
Obamacare has crushed them? Obamacare is what's hurt them?
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, for example, when Obamacare went into place, it took my own family of five health insurance policy from $800 a month to over $2,400 a month, more than our mortgage payment. And that's what so many people have experienced over all these years. But here's the big problem. It's about to skyrocket in January of 2025. Here's why I'm angry.
She means January 2026, but we're not going to hit her on that. Again, like, I can't believe where we're at, that Marjorie the Gathering, the fucking QAnon candidate, is at least in like on these kind of important issues, is the moderate, the person who is taking I would say in some cases a position that's closer to like the shit libs on some of this stuff. This is fucking, I never would have guessed this shit.
But yet the Republicans have never done anything to correct the problems that exist with it. And I blame my own party. That's absolutely wrong. And I don't think it's an easy thing to fix. However, it's something that we should have a plan for. And Mike Johnson, for a month now, cannot give me a single policy idea. And I'm angry about that.
Is this your understanding of Obamacare, that it raises?
I have to first start by saying I didn't suspect that I would come on and say I agree with Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I do on that. I do on this issue because...
So yeah, like this is fucking insanity. This is like the last thing. If somebody would have told me that this was going to happen this year, I'd have been like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No fucking way. Again, she's a bad person. Bill Maher's a bad person, I think. I don't think either of those are good people. I don't like either of those people. But in this exchange, they're fucking... She was wrong about the Affordable Care Act. Again, like I said, it's like when the states worked with the federal government to implement the Affordable Care and Patient Protection Act, some premiums went up, but there were other reasons for that. There was inflation was happening at the time. Insurance companies raise rates all the time anyway. And also some of the rate increases were because the insurance company, well, they were saying, the insurance companies were saying that it was because they had to cover everything now. And so you're paying more, but they can't fucking deny you coverage. The whole system is fucked, right? She's going to come short of saying that we need a single payer system. But what if I'm wrong? What if 3 months from now, she's out there saying, you know what we should do? We should just do what every other fucking country does. What if she does that? I never would have guessed she did any of this. So, What if she comes out for that? That'd be fucking stunning. Fucking stunning. Up here, Ted Cruz not too happy about any of this. Ted Cruz is just going to lean into one of the tired, fucking stupid ass, fucking conservative talking points. This is actually, it's because she bucked a little bit on Israel. And so now when you buck on Israel, it turns you into a liberal.
Well, Joe, my advice is don't spend much time worrying about Marjorie is saying. What I found is a pretty consistent pattern is that whenever an elected official decides that they're going to turn on Israel and they hate Israel, you will very quickly see every other policy out of their mouth become very, very liberal. And so suddenly Marjorie's for massive government spending and taxes, and she's for open borders and amnesty. Okay, fine. That is not what
I don't think she's for any of that. There's a difference between, like, this is bullshit. They're doing, dude, it's Ted Cruz though, but I can't believe I'm saying this. Ted Cruz is trying to do Marjorie the Gathering dirty.
People are. Where the American people are is real simple. We're on day 29 of the stupidest shutdown.
Yeah, that's right. And as Marjorie the Gathering has said, the Republicans of both houses of Congress have the ability to just end the shutdown by doing what they call the nuclear option and killing the filibuster for this. They could do it just for a continuing resolution. They could do it for the whole fucking thing. They could do it and they're not going to do it. You know why? Because if they do that, they got to own it. They got to own the results of it, right? So what they want to do, which is smart politics on their part, I suppose, what they want to do is make some of the Democrats sign off on this shit so they can say, well, the Democrats did it too. And to my astonishment, the Democrats are acting like a fucking political party that fucking knows what they're doing, and they're fucking holding the line on this. Fucking amazing. I never thought I was going to say that this year either. Things are changing in ways that I wouldn't have expected. Not that we're heading in any kind of good direction here. I'm just, a little surprised at the changes that we're seeing. That's all. We got Matt Walsh. We haven't looked at Matt Walsh in a while. If you could imagine this, he doesn't like the people who get a SNAP.
And in fact, if you look at what food stamp recipients are saying in their own words, you come away with the distinct impression that almost none of these people actually need the food stamps. Instead, you come away with the impression that many of these people are simply entitled, lazy, barely literate, and like some of them are just frankly bad people.
So, I guarantee you with my income, I qualify for this stuff. It's all right. I'm good at budgeting, and I don't want to go through all the hoops to try to get it, especially like proving my income and stuff, because it comes from some weird places. Although I have, 1099s and self-employed filings and whatnot. If things get real bad, I live in Oakland and there's all kind of food pantries, food banks and whatever. I go to one because they have fucking fantastic produce. I just take what I want though. I don't they have bags and I'm like, oh, can I just, I'm like, I don't need all that stuff. I want to make sure that other people, get that stuff. I'm like, I'll take the fucking, looks like you got a big bin of oranges over there. I'll take some oranges. I'll fill my backpack with basically what they have extra of and get out of there. But the people, the people in my fucking community who go there, they're not dumb and lazy and low IQ and fucking illiterate. These are fucking people who are struggling. The line to get in at the beginning of the day is long. I don't show up at the beginning of the day. Again, I'm fortunate, if I'm like out of food and shit, like I can be like, Mom, send me some money to go to the grocery store. Only had to do that once since I moved. But, it's like, that's not who's getting SNAP. And we're not talking about some large amount of money. 60-70% of those people are that are on SNAP are children or retired people who Social Security and whatever pension or lack thereof that they have isn't really making the ends meet. That's like who's on this program. There are a lot of disabled, a lot of people with disabilities on the program. Like it is not a bunch of fucking lazy, illiterate, bad people, as Matt Walsh is suggesting, and it's just fucking offensive that he's saying that. So I got one more clip, and I just want to say that I hope everyone except this lady had a happy Halloween.
In my house, we worship Jesus Christ, not a pagan holiday like Halloween or a dead pedophile like Muhammad. So in every one of my properties, we're going to be giving out the way to eternal salvation. Because kids do not need candy or a doctor that chops up their genitals. They need two loving parents and most importantly, Jesus Christ. God bless you all.
Been doing it for ages. I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Yes, I am.
Don't vote for her. She's running in Texas. Don't vote for her. But like I said, I hope everybody had a fun Halloween, or if you didn't do anything, I hope you had a relaxing Halloween, except for her. Fuck her. I hope she had a horrible Halloween, and I hope a bunch of kids dressed as fucking... I hope a bunch of fucking kids with some kind of gender-bending costume, some kind of gender-bending fucking demon showed up at her door and asked her for candy and told her where to stick her Bible. Like, that's what I hope happened to her. Fuck her, and fuck anybody. Basically, fuck people who get mad at Halloween, too, because it's like a fun thing for the kids. Like, it's not about the devil. It's not about anything. Lady, it's about the candy. That's why kids like Halloween, because they get to go to your house. Not mine. There's too many layers of security here. Nobody trick-or-treating here, but they get to go somewhere and they get to make an adult give them candy. And that's why they like Halloween. It's fun. It's like, they say, oh, it's demonic. It's like the most popular secular holiday in the world. You have countries that have all kinds of different religious makeups that celebrate Halloween. And it's a time basically for the kids. No Jesus about it. You fucking nothing, none of that, no bullshit, except for this lady and all fucking crazy old Uncle Pat and shit who are telling you that it's demonic. And I rest in piss, I guess, Pat Robertson. So that's the podcast. We have a ton of good stuff for Red Light. So I do hope everybody watching live sticks around. And if you're listening on the podcast and you'd like to know what the fuck's going on for Red Light, I can tell you a little bit actually before we get out of here. We got Chris Key, piss drinker, about to drop a bombshell. We got Caitlin Bennett was out harassing people at like a farmer's market or somewhere, and she was telling people actually that she did not shit her pants. And then we got a nightmare panel on Piers Morgan, and then we got a double shot of Piers Morgan because that fucking I used to be a spy, but there isn't Michael Weston. That Andrew Bustamante grifter went on to Piers Morgan to talk about, and I'm not kidding, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and for some reason the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, not RFK Jr., but of Robert F. Kennedy. The two are, I guess, somehow connected. I don't know, because he pretends that he used to be a fucking CIA agent or whatever. I don't know. You can't check on that. You call the CIA, try to check that. They're like, who? Because that's what they say about everybody. Anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. Stick around. I'm going to change the color of the lights in this room and change the contents of my beverage, and we're going to go on into Red Light. This is Boomers by Periscope.